Well, this weekend was certainly a big one. The free agency period began yesterday, and there have already been some major moves, like KD, who left the Warriors in favor of the Nets, but he didn't do it quietly. The athlete threw some shots at his former team. But the Warriors were quick to armor their roster with DAngelo Russell, who was traded to the NorCal team for a 4-year max contract. Plus, we're talking about some of the other big changes for stars like Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, and Andre Iguodala. Hey everyone, it's Devin Howard. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do that at Devin Howard, then subscribe to the Fumble and tap the bell so you're the first to know what's going on with your favorite teams and athletes. Kevin Durant's desire to move away from the Warriors has been pretty apparent for a long time now. We've been hearing rumors for months that he was planning on making an exit and joining Kyrie in Brooklyn or New York. His ruptured Achilles created some complications as he's not able to hit the court again for another year, but he still made the move he was hoping to. Just yesterday, KD announced his decision to part ways with the Warriors and head on over to the Brooklyn Nets on a 4-year, $142 million contract. We all kinda knew this was coming, but I have to admit, I didn't realize how tense things seemed to have gotten with KD and his former team. The All-Star athlete had to take one final shot at the Warriors before making his way to Brooklyn, and he did just that by double-tapping a very revealing picture on Instagram. Barstool Sports posted this image of KD with the news on his team change, along with 3 bullet points that say, "Will miss entire 2019-2020 season due to Warriors incompetence, best player in the world when healthy, can now certainly afford a hairbrush or an honest barber." Well, it's pretty obvious what KD thinks about the Warriors, and a lot of it stems from how the medical staff likely mishandled his injury during the playoffs. There's always been speculation about how the Golden State medics pushed KD to get back into the game before he really should have, which resulted in him injuring himself even worse. But beyond that, there's always been some weirdness with KD on the Warriors, especially in regards to Steph Curry. Apparently, Steph was on his way to New York from China to talk with KD when news broke of his move to Brooklyn. While he might have been originally motivated to try and convince KD to stick with the Golden State, he missed that chance, but he still didn't cancel his trip. He wanted to meet with KD to say thanks. But the relationship between KD and Curry, or at least the perceived relationship between the two of them, might have been a big reason why KD chose to leave. When KD announced he was signing with the Warriors in 2016, the Dub Nation was divided. Half were thrilled to see this superstar call NorCal home, and half felt like the team didn't need a skill. Because of that, whenever the Warriors struggled, the blame was placed on KD's shoulders, and fueled the narrative that there was this big Kevin versus Steph war going on the team, and fans were constantly chiming in, claiming which of the two players was the best. Sources close to KD claim that when he went to the Warriors, he really hoped he and Steph could become an iconic duo. He wanted that type of relationship, but the constant scrutiny by the media and the fans prevented that from ever happening. So instead of forcing that bond with Steph, KD decided to leave. But the Warriors wasted no time bolstering up their roster with another star player in DAngelo Russell. 5 hours after news of KD's decision to leave Golden State for the Nets broke, the Warriors finalized their deal to get Russell out west on a 4-year max contract. With Russell and Steph in the Warriors' backcourt, the team is expected to remain a playoffs contender for next season. Plus, they also agreed to sign Klay Thompson to a 5-year, $190 million max contract, even though he'll be recovering from his torn ACL for a while. Basically, the Warriors will be okay, but KD's move to the Nets put the wheels in motion for a lot of other big changes in the league. Some major moves had to happen to get KD in Brooklyn and Russell out to California. In order to make room for Russell's 4-year max deal, Golden State traded Andre Iguodala to the Memphis Grizzlies. The Nets also really lucked out this free agency period. Not only did they sign KD, but they also signed Kyrie Irving. Keep in mind, this is a team that finished with the league's worst record 2 years ago and hasn't won 50 games since 2002. And Stephen A. Smith was losing his mind and nearly crying on Twitter. Take a look.
I needed a few minutes to gather my composure. Somehow, some way, I'm just trying to hold it together, you know? Lifelong Knicks fan. Years of mediocrity. I thought this was gonna be it at least weeks ago. And then, you know, when I was doing First Take, and we were in Oakland and I got word about Kyrie in Brooklyn. Realizing that meant KD in Brooklyn. Realizing that the New York Knicks were going to go without anything. $70 million in cap space. Porzingis gone. Porzingis can't be gone. And we don't get KD and we don't get Durant and Kyrie rather. No way. This can't happen. This can't happen.
Kyrie signed a $141 million max agreement with the Nets after a pretty rough time on the Celtics. The Boston team moved quickly to replace Kyrie with Kemba Walker, who came from the Charlotte Hornets. In other news, the Heat landed Jimmy Butler from the Sixers, and Philly replaced him with Al Horford. Things happened very quickly in this free agency period. The Nets are poised to make a splash next season. The Lakers' hopes of landing Kyrie was dashed early on. He wouldn't even take a meeting with the LA team. And now the Lakers are hoping to pitch Kawhi on becoming a big three with LeBron and AD. Crazy things are happening in the NBA right now. Fumble fans, I need to hear your thoughts. Did Kyrie and KD's move to the Nets surprise you, or did you see it coming? Will the Warriors be as strong with DAngelo Russell on their roster? And what other free agent moves shocked you? Sound off in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in later for all the sports news you love. I'm Devin Howard. See you next time.